Good evening, folks. I know this seems kind of like an odd time to ever do this, but tonight we're going to talk about George Orwell's 1984 book. A few quotes from him, and about the book, from the book, nevertheless. And these quotes, to get behind the 1984 book, is quite interesting, actually. George Orwell's 1984 is actually a book that is actually based on, was actually supposed to be a fictional book that is based on, so-called conspiracy theories that were supposed to be, to predict the future of what would happen in the future and things that were supposed to happen. It was written in 1949, shortly after World War II. Now I'm going to read you three quotes. Two quotes that are one quote that's currently happening right now, and two of the other quotes that George Orwell said in this 1984 book. But before I get into that, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications, subscribe, and I hope you like that. Let's get on with this. First one of these. Two of the most popular ones, obviously, everyone knows this one too darn well. We know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. No one ever seems to relinquish it. Everyone obviously knows what relinquish means. It means another word for surrender. But this word right here has no intention of surrendering at all. In other words, instead of relinquishing, with the power of no intention of surrendering it. In other words, they have no intention of surrendering power at all. Now, next quote. Not merely the validity of experience, but the existence of eternal reality was technically denied by their philosophy. The heresy in heresies was common sense. Pretty interesting words there. I mean, the validity, sometimes common sense can seem kind of out there. I mean, that one seems kind of out there. Now, this one in particular that I'm about to read you is currently what's going on right now. And I want you to remember this one very strongly. And then we're going to talk about it. Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street, building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. End quote from George Orwell in the book of 1984. Okay, now let's talk about that quote for just a moment here. That quote pretty much sums up what's going on right now. I get it. Each country has a bad past. France had a bad past when the revolution went on. They want to get rid of everything they had there. Of course, everyone has a bad past. Look at Karl Marx, a communist. China. All the Chinese communists there. The current communist regime going on right there. Currently, all the Stonewall Jacksons, and literally everybody that is standing up that's a former Confederate soldier, is being taken down currently as we speak. That's what's happening under this current words that I just spoke of. And every record that was once a good record is being terminated and destroyed, or falsified, for that matter. Every book that was once a nice book is being rewritten for someone else to take credit for it. Every picture has been repainted. So true. Look at George Floyd. They want to repaint the picture as if he's the hero. They want to worship criminals. Instead of honoring the people who actually put their lives on the line, they want to honor criminals. The criminal's the good guy, not the cop or the firefighter. The criminals are the bad guys. Then, every statue and street building has been renamed. Perfect example of that. West Virginia and Virginia, 2 different high schools. Starting with Stonewall Jackson High School. 2 different Stonewall Jackson High Schools. One's now renamed, they're renaming one right now in West Virginia. One's been renamed in West Virginia. It's now, actually one's been renamed in Virginia. It's now Mountain View High School. And then one in West Virginia, I think, is now Westside High School, I think. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But that's some renaming. Now, street signs. That's the renaming of a building. Now, street. Okay? Let's think about all the Confederate named streets here in Ohio. In the United States, I mean. Not just Ohio, but the United States. Alright. Lee. Stonewall. Well, then there's Jackson. I mean, you can put Jackson up there with Jackson the president, but you have to put it with Stonewall Jackson. But not just that, just Jackson itself. But seriously, think about this for a moment. You put these with that, it's really like putting 2 monsters in one. Now, and the process is continuing day by day, minute by minute, and that's true. History has stopped. And that's true. When you take down those statues and erase history, history has officially stopped. Nothing exists except the endless present in which the party is always right. In other words, regardless what a Republican says, even if he knows he's right, he or she is right, a Democrat is trying to erase the history and make it constantly their way, they're always correct, regardless. Just a thought. Now, building-wise, if a building's been named after a Confederate for so long, like the Calhoun building, it'll now be changed after that and be renamed to Floyd. To something else, like George Floyd building or something. I can't remember what they renamed it, but it was Calhoun down in Georgia after a Calhoun County. Which is sad. Something's been named for something for so long, and they rename it. Now, pictures are kind of like being repainted, but technically this is all communism. The words of communism is pretty much what is written on this. This is all pretty much, well, communism in the making. This is part 1. I'm going to do part 2 in the next year sometime, not sure what day. That will be determined. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.